Good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Awesome. Awesome. Getting everybody rolling in here. We'll, oh yeah, Philip, there you are. What's up, bud? We'll get everybody rolling in here eventually, and then we'll see who's coming.
Is my audio working now?
Yeah, I got everybody. I got everybody muted coming in.
All
right. To eliminate background noise. So we'll, if you need to, ask a question or something, you can unmute yourself. But we'll have everybody muted coming in. Not that I don't want to hear your voices, because I want to hear all of your special voices throughout the semester. We got a few more people joining up here, so we'll get everybody going in. I don't know, for some reason, this one that I created a waiting room. I'm not going to have a waiting room all the time. I don't know why this one did, but in the future, you guys will be able to just join up, and you'll be able to join up and talk with each other before I get in if you want to. For some reason, this thing created a waiting room today, but no biggie. No biggie at all. Let's see here. Got 26 people now, so we'll get that rolling here in a minute. All right, so let's get the and then, guys, obviously, if you've done Zoom before, most of you probably should be accustomed to it at this point. If not, no big deal. We'll kind of go through some of the things. The best and easiest way to ask a question is throw something over there in the chat, and then I'll come to you if you want to do that. All right, the chat button and chat room is always open for you over on the right side. So we'll let a few more people come in here, and then we'll get down to business for the day. All right, cool. In the background, if you hear any background noise from me, I have my two little black labs are running around. They're both precious little girls, but they are puppies. So if you hear crashing of pots and pans and stuff in the background, that's just my two doggies. All right. We'll give it till we'll get down to some business at 11:05. Sound good? Great. Looks like looks like a bunch of participants are coming in here. Good. All right. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Well, hello. Was that a good way to start? Yeah. Can everybody hear me for the most part? I'm a big, I'll give you a little rundown about myself. We'll talk about the class and those types of things. But, I'm a big believer in I like to observe body language and those types of things. So doing Zoom is sometimes a little bit difficult with that, but throughout this Zoom thing, if I ask you a question or something, if you guys want to give me like thumbs up, if you can hear me, those types of things, some head nods, so I'm not just talking in what looks like I'm on like a giant version of the Brady Bunch, where we're all kind of looking at each other like am I dating myself? I might be dating myself there. You guys probably don't know what the hell the Brady Bunch is. But the Brady Bunch was a terrible sitcom from the 70s, which right now, you view it because it's so bad that it's funny. It's one of those shows. All right, great. So, hello to all of you. I am Professor Egan. Okay, this is History 101, Tuesdays and Thursdays. A little bit about myself, about where you can locate me and find me, and those types of things. Okay, this is my 6th year full time. Jeez, oh Pete, 6th year full time on campus at Thomas More, which is crazy to think about. I went to Thomas More as an undergrad, as all of you are doing. I played baseball at Thomas More, and then I finished my degree there and did my graduate studies at UC, and then overseas in Ireland at University College in Galway and at Trinity. So I did a lot of studying overseas. I guess if you want to pin down, like, some people are like, what is your specialty in history? Okay. I guess my specialty would be, the 18th century. I like to do a lot of things in the 1700s with British, American, and Irish. All right. So there you go. That's enough of the geeky stuff. But also, within this class, we're not going to be doing any British, American, or Irish history because we're talking about the ancient world. Okay. So I do also teach a medieval history class here at Thomas More. If you guys really like this course, hopefully I'll see you again in medieval history. And I love to talk about, in this class, we're going to focus a lot on the Egyptians, the Greeks, and the Romans. So I do a lot of that stuff in this course. We'll talk more about that later on as we get into some of those things. What else do I do on campus? I'm also the assistant softball coach for our Thomas More softball team. My wife, Lindsay Egan, is the head softball coach, and I used to coach baseball. I coached baseball for 8 years at Thomas More. I was the assistant baseball coach, and then I met the softball coach, and we got married 5 years ago. So I figured when we got married, I'm like, yeah, what the hell? I'll just switch over to softball. So I decided to switch it up, and now I coach softball at Thomas More. And that's what I do. So I'm always around. You guys will see me around everywhere if you're on campus. When we, obviously we'll have to wear our masks or coverings and things on campus. So you'll have to identify me by I guess like by my eyes, so there you go. That's what my eyes look like. You won't be able to see my sweet mustache that I'm rocking. But I normally don't rock a mustache like this. But, the whole quarantine and the COVID got a hold of it, and, somebody said it looked good, and I was like, yeah, what the hell? I'll just keep it for a while and see what happens. So sometimes I got mustache, sometimes I don't. All right. For some reason, I'm able to grow hair a lot right here and not so much here. I'm not sure what happened there. But rest assured, a once great civilization of hair lived on this head, much like the Romans that we'll talk about. We'll talk about how the Romans left remains, like the Colosseum. My hair is like that. It was a once great civilization of hair. Now, no more, only to be studied by pictures in history. So, enough about me. You can find me on campus a lot in my office. if you guys know, where the main steps are when you come up the main stairway at Thomas More, my office is down the hallway with the nurse down there. Okay, so you guys probably should all, in this semester, in this era, you should probably all know where the nurse is, just in case you need to go. I'm not, but I'm down that hallway on the left. Okay, so if you ever want to do that. I'm available for meetings anytime. You want to drop by or schedule one. I don't care. I'm not that big of a stickler where, you didn't schedule a meeting, so be gone from my office. No, you can kind of come by whenever you want. Okay. It would be nice if you kind of shot me a Canvas message or an email and said, hey, Egan, I'm dropping by here in a minute, talk about some things. I'm cool with that too. Okay. Also, I am available most times. I mean, obviously, since this is a fully online class, I'm not going to be, ideally, I wouldn't like to be, doing a Zoom call with you at 11 p.m. or midnight. Okay. But, if you guys want to have, a private chat and talk about something with the class or something like that, you can always say, hey, Egan, can we schedule a Zoom chat real quick so I can, brush up on some things or those. I'm perfectly fine with that. Cool. All right. You guys cool with that too? Okay. So like I said, this class, by and large, what are we going to do today? Today, I want to mainly just introduce you to what's going on, how this is going to work, introduce you to myself. And we're not going to do any material or subject stuff today because one of my mentors at the University of Cincinnati told me one time when I was assistant with him, he said that there's a special place in hell for professors who lecture and go over material on the first day of class. And I went, okay, that's fine. I'm not sure if I believe in the whole, hell thing as it's been constructed, but I'm not going to take any chances. So I don't certainly want to go there. And if lecturing on the first day of class and going over material sends you to the eternal fires of damnation, then I'm not going to do it. So today, guys, what I want to do, like I said, is just meet a little bit, share my screen, go over how to navigate the page, those types of things. Okay. If we were meeting in person, see, I normally do all my classes in person. All right. And what happened was last spring when we pivoted to remote and everybody, geez, I bet all of us had to do it. What people found out is that I was pretty good at the Zoom thing. And people tended to like this class that I was doing on Zoom, and I was pretty decent at it. And so what the administration did is they're like, well, you're doing all of your classes on Zoom next fall because you're the only one who's any good at it. And I was like, okay, I really like to meet with students in person, but you kind of do, you guys will learn this, you kind of have to do what your bosses tell you to do. And that's where we are. But I would love to, at some point, meet each and every one of you in person on campus if possible. That would be great. And so I could, just kind of meet you in that way outside of the virtual world. What do we do? What's going on with this course and how do we approach it? Okay, that's what I want to talk about right now. I didn't want to throw the syllabus out there before I met all of you. Okay, so as soon as this class ends today, I'll post the syllabus on Canvas and you can walk through it and go through it and bring any questions that you have to Thursday's Zoom session. Okay, we'll go over some aspects of the syllabus today, but I just wanted to kind of meet you guys, touch base before I kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say like scared you because syllabuses, syllabi. I think it's syllabi. I think proper Latin syllabi. But the question is, if you have a hippopotamus, what if there's many hippopotamuses? Or is it hippopotami? Or is it just hippos? I think it's just hippos. But it would be funnier if it was hippopotami. That would be a fun word. No? Okay, great. I can see you guys are laughing as much as people generally laugh at me during class. Great. Here's what we're doing, guys. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock, I would like to get together and meet for about 45, 50 minutes, if possible. Okay? I'm not going to keep you any longer than that. Most often. Now, there will be certain days where I'll be like, look, we need to kind of meet a little bit longer today. But most often, guys, we're going to be in that 40 to 50 minute range because after 40 to 50 minutes, people generally check out and they're like, see you later. I'm going to start looking at something else, or, I'm going to, act like I'm on this Zoom with this clown and I'm going to be playing, Fortnite on my phone or something like that. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So guys, what we're going to be doing is how it breaks down generally is on Tuesdays. That's going to be our day that we set up the material for the week. We kind of go over some things that maybe we read and looked at over the weekends. Okay. And then we just kind of set our table for the week. And then on Thursdays, those are going to be more interactive sessions where I'm going to be hoping that the chat blows up a little bit and that people want to talk and engage and go over certain things that we're doing during the week. Does that make sense? All right. Some days will be a little bit different than others. Okay. But I don't think that, coming in here 2 days a week, for 45 minutes or so is that big of an ask. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create as close to an in-person on-campus experience as possible. Okay. I just want us to kind of maybe pretend that we are in class on these Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. And that's really what I'm shooting for on these sessions here. What is this course about? When do you have to be here? All those different types of things. Okay. It would be ideal, and you'll read this in the syllabus when I put it on Canvas here in a little bit. It would be ideal if you showed up for every single Zoom scheduled session. Okay. Are there going to be times where we're not going to meet every Tuesday and Thursday? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know next week I'm going to have a really hard time getting in here at the scheduled time. So we'll talk about that on Thursday. Okay. So, there might be times where we aren't meeting at our scheduled Tuesday, Thursday, but when we have a scheduled Tuesday, Thursday session, it would be awesome if you guys could all be in here like we are today. Okay. So what happens when you can't make a Zoom session? All right. That would be kind of like how if you are going to miss an in-person class on campus, it would be great if you could shoot me an email, send me a Canvas message, something like that, and say, hey, Egan, not going to be able to make it in for the Zoom session today. And here's why, or well, whatever. You don't even have to give me a why. I'm not, you guys are all adults. Okay. But I would like to get that message from you so that, because during this crazy semester with, it's kind of Orwellian. We're trying to track all you guys. Where are you? What are you doing? All right. Make sure that you report to Big Brother. Okay. And I hate that bleep. I really do. But my job is to kind of figure out, I don't know, figure out not where you are, but like, you know, if you're okay, those types of things. All right. So it'd be great if you're not going to be here in the Zoom to send me a little message. What I've created in the syllabus and in the courses is a 50-point bonus in terms of point value for attendance. Okay. So if you show up for, you know, all the Zoom sessions or nearly all the Zoom sessions, if you turn things in on time, all right, for the activities, which we'll talk about here in a minute, about the first activity that we're going to do. All those things are going to equal up to 50 bonus points. So at the end of the semester, okay, there's 600 points available in this course, and you'll see that on the syllabus. So say you score, you know, 510 out of 600 points, okay? At the end of the semester, if you attended every Zoom class, if you turned things in on time, if you know, interacted with people in the course, then what I do is I give you those bonus points that add to your total. So if you score 510 out of 600, at the end of the semester, if you did all this stuff and showed up and were active participants, your total goes from 510 to 560 out of 600. Okay. So it's a huge bonus to show up, to interact with people. Okay. And it'll be like a little golden parachute coming down at the end of the semester to rescue you from, you know, if you're kind of mingling down there and you're like, man, I got like an 87. I really would like to get better, you know, get into that A- A range. Well, those 50 points are they're going to bring you right up to where you want to be. Does that make sense? Okay. So make sure that you're trying. So what happens, like I said, if you turn something in late, or if you miss a few Zoom sessions here and there, it'll just be, I'll just subtract 5 points or so off of each one of those times. So for instance, if you miss, you know, you miss 3-4 Zoom sessions, or you turn some things in late, then you'll probably get like, you know, 30 out of the 50 bonus points. Does that make sense? All right. And if you never show up and you always turn things in late, then the score at the end of the semester is just going to be your score at the end of the semester, and you're just going to get 510 out of 600. Does that make sense? Okay. So there's some incentive for you to be here, to interact, and to make this a nice place to be for 40, 50 minutes, a couple times a week. Some Zoom etiquette things. I'm going to type these in the chat so you can have this. Some Zoom etiquette things that I would like to talk about before we get into what we're doing here. I want to everybody, let's do everybody there. Okay, great. I see some of us are joining with video, perfectly fine. That would be the most ideal, okay? Most ideal is join with video, all right? All of these sessions, okay? Now, like I said, all of these, I'm not doing this because it's creepy. I'm doing this to help you out, okay? All of these sessions that we have here, all sessions on Zoom are recorded, okay? Why? Why do I record them? One, I record them for people who can't make the Zoom session as we're meeting right now, okay? So that they can watch them later. Two, for people who want to come back and review them and, you know, pick up some things that maybe they missed, okay? So what I do is after class, these things are recorded, and then what I do is I immediately put them as fast as my little internet hamster can turn the wheel here. I get it back up onto Canvas, and you can watch any of these sessions at your leisure throughout the day. Okay. So like I said, that also alleviates any issues and worry. If you can't make it, don't worry, because the session is going to be on Canvas later that day. Cool. If you don't want to join with video, if you don't feel comfortable joining with video, it's not that big a deal. Okay. But I would like to see, if possible, a profile pic so that we can kind of see what you look like. Does that make sense? Okay. So for instance, mine, if I stop my video, you'll see this lovely picture of me from, Glamour Shots, sans mustache. Okay. This is me without mustache. And here's your friendly professor, back with mustache and the same kind of pose. All right. So ideally, it wouldn't be nice to get a profile pic on there. Okay. If I can't, so that we can all see each other's faces. Perfectly fine. Also, make sure your profile name is, and I'm going to put in here kind of in parentheses, correct. Okay. The reason is that we do have to track attendance this fall. I'm normally not an attendance taker. I've already gone through this, but we are being forced by the powers above to take attendance. And the thing is that I can't take accurate attendance if you're here on camera, but your profile name is like, I love, the reds.org or something, so make sure it's your name that pops up there. Okay. I know yesterday's with one of my classes yesterday, if you guys are using mom or dad's computer, if you're at home or using something like that, sometimes it might pop up as their account. Okay. So make sure your name is in there, and you can go over and you can click on those 3 little dots that appear by your name. And you can even rename it, you can even rename yourself. Like I'm going to rename myself here for a little bit. I am now rename myself as the coolest professor. Okay. Which I am. I am the coolest professor on campus. And I will stand by that. So you can change your name up however you want. And we'll just go back and we'll put my name back in there as good old Professor Egan. If you see me on campus, you can address me as Professor. You can address me as Professor Eags, Professor Egan. Just don't call me Mr. All right, Mr. I'm not a Mr. yet. I'm not that old. All right. So if you call me Mr., I'm gonna get, I'll get sad and melancholic, and I'll probably kick you out of my office. All right. Just kidding. Tough crowd. This is why comedians, modern comedians, they don't play college campuses anymore. When I was in college, way back when, comedians would come to campus. They don't do it anymore because they don't understand what's happening with you guys, because you guys are sometimes afraid to laugh because you have to look around the room and you're like, is everyone laughing at that? Okay. Okay, everybody's laughing, and you'll laugh along with it. One of the best ways to score well in here is to laugh at all my jokes because I'm funny. Okay, great. Again, I'm kidding. What else is happening here? Picture and profile, those types of things, great. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share the screen. We're going to look at the class webpage real quick. Okay. And sometimes when I do this, the internet sometimes likes to make the video make me sound like a robot for a little bit. So when the screen comes up, those of you who are on video, if you can give me a couple thumbs up when you can see the screen sharing, that'd be great. When the screen sharing gets there, if I get a thumbs up or some sort of good. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Here's our class website. All right. What you're going to see right off the bat as I scroll down here, all right, is the class textbook, all right, which is in a PDF form. All right. You can download it here from the website. It's not that big of a file. I think it's like, 50 megabytes, something like that. It's not that big a file. Feel free to download it there. Or if you want to just continually access it via the internet, there's the link there. Okay, does everybody see that on the link? All right. One of the things that I've done this semester I've never done before, and I'll stop sharing there for a second just so I can talk to everybody. One of the things I've done this semester I've never done before is I've created an open source. I haven't created it, but I scoured the interwebs over the summer to find an open source text, because we've not done a good enough job to figure out how to get you guys the texts in a reliably financial way. Okay. Quite frankly, I think it's BS. The prices that you guys got to pay on books, it's ridiculous. So one of the things that I tasked myself with over the summer was to try and find a free text so that we can all, so that it doesn't put extra financial burden on you guys. When some professors are coming in here with the $300, $400 text, and I'm like looking at them, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, how can you do that? Like, it's just doesn't make sense. But each professor is a little bit different. I'm providing you with a free text, and the text is awesome. It's easily workable. The PDF works really good, and we'll talk about what we're going to be looking at and what we want to read over the weekend and that type of thing on Thursday. Okay. But feel free to scroll through that text, click on some things, especially in chapter 1, and the kind of prehistoric world that we're going to be getting into, and Paleolithic and Neolithic and all those types of things. Feel free, if you want to, start scrolling through chapter 1 there of that text. Other readings and books, other readings, videos, those types of things, I will put all those on Canvas for you as we make our way through each of the learning modules. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is check Canvas decently often. You don't have to check it, all the time, but check it. When I post something on Canvas, I always send out an announcement or those types of things. So what you guys are going to see is, as the modules grow from our website, you'll always either have something to look at or that type of thing. But here's the deal with this course. This is History 101. This is not a difficult course. Okay, I'm just going to lay it out to you right there. This is not a hard course. It's History 101. I am not here to make your lives miserable. I am not here to crush you with material, and I'm not here to puff out my chest and try and show you how smart I am. Okay. I bet right now, if we took a test, like just a general test of, can you do math and can you do other types of things, many of you in here would be considered, probably, if we took a test, smarter than me. Okay. Or smarter than I. That would be proper grammar. Smarter than I. But why do I get to sit here on video and be the professor and you guys have to be the student? Well, because I have 3 pieces of paper on my wall that tell me how smart I am. Okay. You guys don't have those pieces of paper yet. And that's the difference between us, essentially. Okay. You guys don't have those pieces of paper that say, such and such made it through 4-year grind of this institution, and therefore they, it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, when the scarecrow gets his brains, and they just sort of bequeath brains onto you. And it's kind of like that. Right? And I have 3 pieces of paper that apparently tell me how smart I am. That doesn't mean I'm smarter than you guys. It just means that I'm hopefully qualified, and I am qualified, to make you hopefully enjoy and appreciate history a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to type this into the chat so everybody can see it. If you can, give this course and history in general a chance. That's all I'm asking. Can you please, throughout the next few weeks, just give it a shot? Give this course a chance. Does that mean I'm going to try and make you love history? No, I'm not going to try and make you love history. Okay. Here's the thing. A lot of people only appreciate history the older they get. And a lot of you are only 18 to 22 years old. All right. You haven't lived a lot of history yet. And also, over the last 3 to 4 months, history in general has been, I don't know how else to describe it, attacked by and large. Okay. And it has been we've been told for many and varying different reasons that sometimes history is bad. And if history is bad, then it needs to be erased. That deeply upsets me as a historian, that people are trying to erase history and get rid of it. I don't understand why they're doing that, because the good and the bad, and holy cow, there's a lot of bad stuff in history. You can learn from that. All right. And there's things to learn from that. We're going to be going over a lot of things in this class in ancient history that aren't very pretty, and it's not very nice. But it's stuff that is helpful to learn, because I want you guys to see, okay, that all of us are affected by history. I'm a big believer in what, maybe you've heard of this or not. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. I'm a big believer in this thing called the butterfly effect. Okay, maybe you have heard about it or not. I'm a huge believer in it. I think that what happens half a world away 2,000 years ago, I still think it matters. Okay, and the whole point of this class, guys, is to see and hopefully get you guys to realize that it does affect you in certain ways. Okay, so for instance, all right, there's a reason why the language that I'm speaking to you right now, you can understand it. Okay, there is a reason why when I type something up there on the screen, that you can look at it and process it. Why that happened and how that works, we're going to go over it. We're going to go over it. It's an invention. Okay. And if you can try and see how that affects you, it would be great. Okay. And like I said, it's hard. It's hard for 18 and 22-year-olds, because for most young people, anything that happened before you were born, a lot of you are like, I could give 3 bleeps about what happened before the year 2000. And you're like, well, it's just nothing but terribleness, and I wasn't around, so I don't give a bleep about it because I wasn't around. Okay. I'm going to try during this course to make you realize that stuff that happened before you were around still matters. Fair enough? All right, cool. So let me go back and share the screen here for a minute, and we'll look at what we're going to be doing over the course of this week real quick. Okay. Can you guys hear me at all? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's currently storming and going crazy over here. We'll see if I pop up here or not. Okay, come here. Okay, come here. Come here. Am I here? Is anybody, I'm confused on what's happening here. Can anybody see me? Yes?
No, it shows up.
All right. You guys can still see me. Good. I don't understand why the gods do this, why they make storms happen right in the middle of stuff that I want to do. But that's okay. We'll talk about why Zeus does that and why the gods do that. My crazy cat was just going off the wall here, so I had to let her outside. Whenever it storms and rains, she likes to go outside. So there we go. It looks like that the screen sharing is starting to work. All right. Like I said, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. But today, like I said, the internet is a little bit haywire because of the weather. Give me a second here. I'll pop back up here. No worries. Share this. I will be back with you in 1 second. Just give me a minute here. Meantime, hopefully you guys can hear me. Yes? Okay. Sorry about that again. Just craziness, absolute craziness in terms of weather. Looks like the share screen thing is going to cause my internet to go haywire here for a minute. So let's just talk for the last 5 minutes or so about what we want to do over the course of this week. Great. So the first thing that if you guys can make your way through those Canvas modules, the best way to navigate the course, okay, and I'll type this into the chat here, is to use the tab on your left when you log in called modules, okay? That will send you basically to the class that we want it to look like, or I'm trying to design it helpfully to look like, all right? And so what you're seeing is the first assignment or something that we need to do is a introduction post, an intro post. And the reason is if we were meeting in person, I would be peppering all of you individually with questions. All right. And I'd be like, where are you from? What kind of music you like to listen to? You know, do you play sports? Are you into extracurriculars? Do you work anywhere? Those types of things. Okay. So that's the big thing I want to get into with this post. Maybe you've looked at it, maybe you haven't. All right. If you haven't, start to look through it. All right. And answer those questions. Basically, I just want to find out, you got any goals? One cool question is like, if you want someone to know like one thing about you, what would that be? Those types of things. If you want to make a video and post your intro as a video so people can see and hear you, that'd be awesome too, okay? But that first post, just like all of our forum posts are gonna be, that thing's worth 25 points and it is an easy, I'm typing that in here. I don't know why I typed in the U on the end there. It's an easy 25 points, okay? All you're doing is just introducing yourself to the course. Maybe if possible, throwing a picture of yourself in there or video, whatever you guys want to do, Okay. All of the forum posts and everything that we do in here always will have a rubric attached to it for how it's going to be assessed or graded. Okay. So always make sure that you guys are checking that rubric. Okay. Check how the assignment is going to be scored. Okay. Check to see what we're really looking for in this assignment. Does that make sense? Okay. And that's how we're going to look at how we score and we assess those posts. So, one of the parts of the intro post and all of our posts are going to be things like, spelling and grammar. Okay. Not that I'm a spelling or grammar stickler. It's just that I want you guys to get used to, when you post something out there for public consumption, that it's the best possible version of yourself that you're putting out there. Okay. And not that people are going to sit here and, judge your grammar or your spelling and be like, oh, harumph, that is terrible grammar and it's making me want to throw up my coffee. No, I'm not going to be like that. Okay. But what I will be doing is making sure that you check it, that you spell check it, that maybe you have a brother, sister, a roommate, whomever, kind of maybe read over it, that type of thing. Also, with these forum posts, you can enter into it. Obviously, you're going to click the reply, button to put it in there. But here's the thing. Don't click the reply button on these forum posts and then sit there with the reply tab open for 15, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever, however long it's going to take you to do it, and then click reply. Because what's going to happen then, guys, is you probably all encountered this, is if you leave, a box open that long, it'll time out. Okay. And then all the stuff that you've written, I've had this happen too many times to talk about with students, is they'll sit there and they'll write out some post that sounds like something, Thomas Jefferson would write. Okay. And it's got all these big, long-winded words and making you sound all nice and smart. And then you click reply and it just goes whoosh off into freaking nowhere. And it's like in the ether and you're like, I don't know where the hell that went. And then and then I get the invariable sort of email like, Professor Egan, I just wrote the best post I've ever written in my life. And I click reply and the damn thing's gone. All right. So don't do that. Okay. What I want you guys to do is ideally, if you got, pages, if you're an Apple person, or if you got, Word, if you're a Microsoft person, open up a Pages, open up a Word, okay, and type out your post, get that thing going in there if you want to do it that way, and then simply copy and paste it back into the reply. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. You're probably used to this already from high school and college, but that's just my little helpful thing with those replies. I don't want you to lose your work. I don't want you to spend, half hour, whatever of your life that you can't get back. Because I've done it. You've probably done it. And it makes you want to smash things into the computer. All right. So that's basically the only thing people always ask me, what you do this week? All right. Well, the only thing that's due, okay, is that intro post. Okay. It's the only thing that we're really doing this week, like to turn in for points. All right. And this intro post is due by class time, which is 11 a.m. next Tuesday, which is, that would be August 25th. Okay. So just make sure, and I'm giving you some time to do it. So make it good. Okay. I'm giving you guys some time to do it. So make it a good one. Make sure the only thing like you got to worry about for, homework, like we're all 12 years old, what's my homework? Get that forum post up and running. Okay. And that's kind of, but there's going to be other things that I'll put on Canvas. We'll be reading through chapter 1. We'll be watching a couple things, couple videos here and there, those types of things. Okay. So for like I said, today we'll meet a little bit longer than normal, probably, give me like 5 more minutes here. What else are the things that we're going to be doing in here? How's this class going to work? What are the, what were the, how many points are there? Okay. Well, like I've told you, there's 600 points in the class. Okay. There's 4 tests/quizzes. All right. Over the modules that we're going to be doing. Okay. Those are each worth 50 points. All right. For a total of 200. There's going to be, I'm not going to have a midterm exam. Okay. Because the semester's so bizarre already that, it's already been squished and squashed, and, we're having exams right after Thanksgiving, those types of things. So I'm not going to have a midterm. All right. But we'll have a final test. And, we'll talk about the final test, and all these different types of things and what it's all about. One of the cool things about my final exam is that part of the test, so the final exam is worth 150 points, but it's not going to be 150 like question points. A big chunk of that final is what I'm going to have you guys do. It's one of the cool things that I do, and students tend to really like it, is I have you write a postcard to your parents or to your best friend or to your roommates or whomever. I have you write a postcard from your favorite ancient civilization that we go over. So I get you to imagine that you hopped in a time machine and that you went back and you visited one of these ancient cultures, and you got to write a postcard to your mom or dad about it and be like, hey, I'm visiting ancient Rome, or I'm visiting the Spartans, and this culture is kind of weird because they're taking their babies up to that mountain, and oh my God, if they don't match the Spartan ideal, they threw the baby off the top of that mountain. Yep, that just happened. And it's awful. I mean, there's some of the cultures and some of the things we're going to be going over. You guys are going to be like, Jesus, like, yeah, that's right. Well, speaking of Jesus, we're going to be going over Jesus. All right, since he was part of the ancient world. Okay, but yeah, man, things like the Spartans and how they kind of bred out certain things they didn't like in their culture. God, you think the modern world's kind of weird. Whew. We'll talk about some interesting stuff. We're going to do things in here, guys, that are called CPAs or class preparation activities. These are worth 10 points each. There's going to be 10 of them, and there's going to be 100 points contained in there. Okay. These are the easiest things to do by far. All right. It's like a question or two. All right. We'll do one probably, not one a week, but like semi-weekly. All right. And you'll send it to me before class in an email, and there's no wrong answers. Okay. Everybody loves to hear that. There's no wrong answer. It's just, do you have an opinion on this subject? What do you think about this certain thing? So for instance, we're going to be reading like Roman laws, all right, because I'm interested in Roman laws. Maybe you are too. We'll see. And one of the Roman laws, one of the earliest Roman laws, was women are not allowed to cry at funerals. That was an actual written law. The Romans put that into their law. Women, no crying at funerals. And you're like, well, what the bleep? Like, everybody cries at funerals. And the Romans like to view themselves as so tough and so stoic and so just that not even our women cry at funerals. And that's how tough we Romans are. All right. And I ask you guys about it. I ask you, what do you think about that? And that's an example of a CPA. And then when we come in here and we get some chats going, and you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you and you can kind of speak to the rest of us and show us your interesting thoughts. Okay. And that's how the course goes. All right. There isn't going to be something due all the time, and it's not a very difficult course. All right. You guys should, if you put the work in, if you show up, if you are interested at all, you guys should all rock this course out. Okay. It's not that difficult of a course to compile some pretty good point value. Make sense? Good. Awesome. So that's kind of all I really wanted to go over for today, was just to show you what's going on, introduce myself, introduce the course, talk about what's coming up, those types of things. What I want you guys to do over the next 24 to 48 hours, okay, is I'll send out a link here in a little bit. All right, I want to meet at 11 a.m. on this Thursday, okay, right here in the Zoom room. And what I want you to do is, over the next 24, 48 hours, read over that syllabus, okay, that I'm going to put up. Bring any questions you have to Thursday about that, and then try to start meandering your way through chapter 1 of that text that I have put on the website. Okay. And on Thursday, we'll start going over some of those different types of things. How do we do like notes in here? How do we do, lecture and those types of things? What I like to do is, and this will be the last thing we talk about, I like to do video kind of walkthroughs of the PowerPoints. Okay. So when we come to the Zoom, I'm not going to be sitting here going over notes, because I cannot think of a more kind of boring thing to do is just to sit on a Zoom and listen to notes. Okay. And that kind of makes people hate history by and large. All right. So I'm not going to sit here and just go over notes, because that's stupid. A lot of the times on Zoom, other than today, is going to be a lot more interaction, a lot more talking, a lot more, can I get some hands up in the air? Can I get some chat stuff going? Okay. And we're going to be going over the material and reviewing it. And then in the meantime, in the downtimes, on a Wednesday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, to watch for a Thursday or to watch for a Tuesday, I'll throw some PowerPoints up there that I walk through. Okay. And then those are the things that you're watching on your own whenever in the heck you want, at 2 in the afternoon or at 2 in the morning. You can watch them whenever you want, whenever you're awake and wanting to get your notes together, you can watch those notes. Does that make sense? Okay. So really, this course has a lot of elements of, you can kind of do it whenever you want, as long as you get it done. Okay. The tests are like that. The final exam is going to be like that, where the tests, I'm not going to just have like a certain hour and a half that you have to do the test. Like, make sure you do this test between noon and 2 on Friday. No, what I'll do is, like, we'll come to class on Tuesday of a week that we have a quiz or a test, and I'll just tell you in the Zoom, hey, the test is up, it's published, make sure it's turned in by next Tuesday. All right, that's how I do tests and quizzes. Okay. I'm not a big believer in having people take a test at a certain time. Okay. So I really like giving you guys the freedom to kind of take that test, quiz, do that forum post whenever you have the most amount of time and whenever you feel that you're ready to do it. Okay. So that being said, friends, I will throw this recording up here in a little bit on Canvas. I have the syllabus up here in a couple of minutes on Canvas for you to look at. And then you'll get your invite for Thursday a little bit later when I create that. Cool? Awesome. It's good to see your smiling, kind of smiling faces, maybe. And hopefully by Thursday, you guys can either have, like I said, a profile pic in there, or, so I can start to see who's who here on the Zoom. All right? Awesome. Until then, friends, cheers, and I will see you on Thursday at 11. Bye, guys.